Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to be testing out the E.L.F. 16-hour Wear Camo Concealer and the E.L.F. Flawless Finish Foundation. I'm going to go ahead and use the E.L.F. Putty Primer today, and I'm going to set this just in the T-zones so that we can go ahead and get ready for our face today. I'm not going to be going over eyeshadow or anything like that. We're just worrying about the face and how these products actually work. As anyone knows that's been watching my channel, I love the E.L.F. Putty Primer. It works really good in filling in the pores. It's compared to the Tatcha Silk Canvas. I don't have that one, so I cannot really compare it. But as far as this one from E.L.F., I really love it. It's only $8. It is very silky, and it doesn't slip or make my foundation move about or anything like that. But it's not great when it comes to dry skin. Right now my face is really dry and has a lot of dry flakes on it. So I'm just putting this in the T-zone. I'm going in with this Physician Formula oil, argan oil, and I'm going to put this on my face, the rest of my face, to really give it some moisture and some oil back into the skin so that hopefully this foundation does not cake up. So I'm going to go ahead and put this wherever I need it, and then we will be moving on to our foundation. So I'm going to be using a kabuki brush from Morphe. It is the Y6. I'm going in with the E.L.F. Flawless Finish Foundation. This is in the shade Snow, which is a light coverage, and it is light with a pink undertone. It also states that it is oil-free with a satin finish on the bottle. But up online it says that it is semi-matte finish. I don't think I think it's like in between. It is a very thick, creamy consistency. It is not full coverage by any means. It does take a lot of this foundation to build up to that full coverage. I'm going to go ahead and I am putting on the amount that I think I'm going to need. And this is not the exact color. The colors are actually a little weird to me. This looks like my color when I start to blend it in. You can see with my neck. But then it has this grayish looking tone to it. And it just does not look good. I would say that I would think that it would be my lighting. But I don't think it's the lighting either. I think it is just the color itself. They didn't have no other colors except for yellow base colors, and I'm a pink undertone, so I went after this, and it's just too light and has this gray cast color to it. So I am going to end up mixing another foundation just to bring this look together so we can talk about the concealer and really what that does, because that's what I'm most interested in, is the concealer. But as you can see, you still see a lot of my pink, the red poking through this foundation. It is looking like it is setting on top of the skin, not really like it is a part of the skin, but it looks like foundation just laying a mask laying right on top of the skin. I don't like that. I will be going in with a beauty blender and pressing it in. I'm going in with the Too Faced Born This Way in Nude just to bring some color back in and don't look so ghost-like or sick. And that's what I felt like I looked like. So I want to go and get another color that I think that will suit me. I'll have to order that offline because, like I said, they didn't have a variety in store. They have 13 shades to pick from online, and that is a good size range. But as far as in store, they really didn't have many at Walmart to choose from. It is cruelty-free and vegan. It does cling to dry patches, when I was applying this, even with my other foundation on top of it, both of them were just really clinging to all my dry patches, and you can just really see the dryness. I'm now taking the Beauty Blender and pressing this in to hopefully help set it down, because this does stay a little damp, wet, sticky, so it doesn't set down as far as matte. It does have that semi where it does have that stick, so you will have to set this foundation into place. It says it's oil free. As I wore it throughout the day, I seem to think that my oils coming through has actually helped make this foundation look 10 times better than what it actually did when I was applying it. So when you do first try foundation, wait till the end of the day to really give your honest opinion, because sometimes once it sets on your face and warms up to your face, the oils really break it down and help. Right now I'm showing you, it kind of looks cakey, it looks splotchy, it's clinging. You can see as I touch my face, the foundation was coming right off. And I don't think it's because I added too much, or I don't think it's because I added the other foundation. I don't even think it's because of the actual primer that I used. I think it's just so light coverage that it didn't give much to work with, that you had to build it up this way. But like I said, later on in the day, I ended up loving it. It ends up looking really pretty on the skin, and once you set it down, it actually comes together. I'm going to go ahead and put on my cream highlighter from Wet n Wild. This is the Magaglo, and this is cream based, so I wanted to do that before I set everything and do my concealer, so that powders and creams don't mix that well. The foundation does smell to me like baby powder, so it's not an awful chemical smell. I ended up liking the smell. This is what I'm going to set my face with. This is the Wet n Wild Photofocus setting powder. So I'm using this to set everything down with, and I'll be going in and baking a little bit under the eyes and on the T-zone area, but not much, because like I said, my face is already so dry that I don't want to over powder it and make it really powdery. So this is the E.L.F 16-hour Wear Camo Concealer. Says it's full coverage matte. I love the packaging, even of the foundation. The packaging is just sleek and pretty. I love the doe foot applicator on this. It is really big, so it gives me more coverage instead of having to dip back in several times, because a lot comes out on the ones that you dip it. This color is a little also too light for me. It says a light peach. Once again, the stores did not have a variety to pick from. This is a very thick consistency, so a little bit goes a very, very long way. So just so that you know, when you use this, you don't have to use a lot. It says that is crease resistant. When I did my eyeshadow and I let it set, it did end up creasing on my eyelids before I even was able to set it. So I would not say that it is crease resistant. It did end up creasing on my eyelids. Under my eyes, I did not see that it creased too much. It is $5. It was a 4-star rating on the E.L.F. And it does dry super, super fast. So by the time I got to my under eyes, it was already almost dry. It was a little bit harder to blend out. So I would say is that once you put it on, let it set for a second and then go ahead and start blending right away. It's not giving me too much of a tough time, but you will see when I get to under my eyes, it does get just a little bit harder to blend out evenly because it is starting to dry. But I did like the fact that I noticed when it does start to dry down, it dries down to a feel of a powder. It doesn't dry down to where it's still sticky or cakey feeling. It felt like it was a powder consistency. So I really did like that about that. This does come in 18 colors, and it does oxidize just a little bit. So that's why I didn't mind having this lighter color, because you'll see as it sets and everything and warms up to the skin, it will oxidize a tad bit, but not to the extreme that you're like, oh my goodness, this is like 3 shades too dark. It won't do that. It lasts for 6 months is the lasting life from once you open it and start using it. It won't settle into the fine lines, it says. I did not notice that it settled into fine lines. I didn't have that problem. So I would say yes, it does not do that. It is cruelty free and vegan as well. It says to use it with your fingers or your sponge or pat it out with a brush. The doe applicator is really big, so I really did appreciate that. And this did not have a bad smell either. It smelled pretty good. It didn't have a chemical smell to it, so I really enjoyed that. I don't like products that have that strong scent of a chemical, and sometimes those kind of products can really burn my skin because my skin is so sensitive. So yeah, I really liked this. The concealer I ended up really liking more than the foundation. I think it wore really beautiful. You can even almost compare it to the Shape Tape or even the Makeup Revolution concealer that they have, being in the top to one of those. It was that good. It does have full coverage. It gives you everything you need. I want to buy some more of these in a darker color to be able to actually contour with them. I think they would be really, really pretty. It wasn't cakey. Like I said, a little bit goes a long way. I actually think I used a little too much in the video, so I would try to use a little bit less than that, which I'm going to still use these products, continue to use them, play with them, and just see how well they wear with different foundations. I'm just trying to show you up close, which like I say, you can see the pink and the red rosacea coming through. Underneath my eyes are really dry, so don't take that, that's not the concealer. That's just my face acting up. It's really dry right now. So now I'm just going to make sure that's all set and baked under the eyes, which I use a translucent powder from Maybelline. It's the Fit Me. It's not translucent, it's fair. It's number 10. It's really, it's the lightest one I believe that they do have. So I use that under the eyes and in the T-zone. And then I set the rest of the face with the Wet n Wild that I showed you. I'm going to go in with the E.L.F. bronzer now. And this is just the bronze palette. That's all it says on it. And I'm going to use the bottom one. And I'm going to tap into that and use that as the bronzer today. Like I said, I'm just going to do the face today. And we're going to concentrate on that to see how it looks and comes together. This bronzer I don't like, and I don't know if it's because it just didn't set well with the foundation at first, or if it is just the bronzer. One, it is too shimmery for me, for my liking. It has just way too much shimmer. They all did. I tested them all. To me, it was too brown. I needed a cooler tone. It just did not work for this look. But I went ahead and used it so that we can get the face finished, because I already went with it. And so it just wasn't my thing. But it's not a horrible product. It did do the job of bronzing up. The one thing I did like is it doesn't come off of the pan as being too harsh. It is more of a lighter bronzer, so you really can work with it and build it up if you do need to. So that was the best thing about it. I just think it clung too much to the foundation. Instead of really setting in and melting in with the rest of the foundation, it just kind of set up on top. And then it was just too shimmery for my liking, like I said. So I just wanted to show you guys so far what everything looks like and how everything is setting. Now I'm going in with the Colourpop, and I'm going to go ahead and contour just a little bit. We're not going too ham up on the face today. So I'm going to take this Morphe contour brush, and I am just contouring a tad bit. And this is called California. This is the pressed powder from Colourpop, and this is their bronzer. I use it as contour or bronzer. We're just contouring, like I said, just a little bit of the face today to bring some more color into the face. I do love this. This does not smell of harsh chemicals either. It's not too strong of a color. This one you can really build up as well. And they have many colors as far as the Colourpop bronzers go in the pressed formula. So I'm going to go ahead and just buff those two together to make sure they're all going seamless and looking pretty. Then we're going to go in with our blush today. And our blush is going to be from Colourpop as well. And it's called Drop of the Hat, and it is a super shock formula. And it is very pretty. I'm going to go ahead and I am cutting out the contour just to help it out because it was looking a little blotchy and it was just not looking right. It went too far down. And I think, once again, I think it's the foundation that everything is just not setting properly on top of the foundation. They weren't working together. And like I said, I truly believe it's not the foundations that is causing this. I believe it's my face is way too dry. I needed more oil to come back into play to actually make the foundations look good. So I'll keep you guys updated on that as well. So I'm just taking this Kabuki Top blush brush and I'm just tapping this formula onto the cheeks, and I'm not using a lot. I'm using just a little bit of this to be able to brighten up the cheeks just a little bit. You can also use this blush as a eyeshadow. I think it's really pretty. It has a little tiny bit of gold flecks in it, but it's nothing to the point where it is just in your face. It is like very subtle, hard to see. This is E.L.F. Baked Eyeshadow. I use this as a highlighter. So I'm going, and this is in the color Enchanted. I'm going to take this with the Morphe brush, and I am going to highlight the top of the cheekbones, the nose, and the Cupid's bow. I like this gold. It's very pretty. It's not too intense of a highlighter, but it is just enough. So it is a dual purpose. It is eyeshadow and also a highlighter, so it works well for both things for a very cheap price. So I love this in my collection. And once again, I don't think it's setting properly. My face is too dry. It's showing a lot of texture right now, but I believe it's my face that's doing it because usually this sits really pretty and melts into the skin. So that way, if you guys wanted to know why it was looking like that. I already got my eyes done, and we are just doing the inner corner, and I have everything listed below on what I use for my eyes today. But I'm just going to conclude for the end of this that later on during the night, when I looked back at my face, one, I did not have to touch up except for my nose. My nose always, the foundation always comes off my nose. So But the rest of my face, it did not. And once the oils started coming through my face, it really ended up making the foundation and the concealer just look so pretty. It really melted in and made the foundation look stunning compared to actually what it is on my face now. To me, my face looked over dry and everything just was setting up on top. It looked like a big fake layer of makeup up on top of the face, and that's not what we tried to go for. So later on during the day, it ended up. So my conclusion is I won't wear this when my face is too dry. Now when my face is very moisturized and not dry at all, and I don't have dry patches and I have plenty of my natural oils, this foundation I will reach for. I will go back and order my right color so that I won't have to use another foundation. But I really did like this foundation. It came together. If you are always dry and you have a problem with dryness, I would suggest do not get this foundation because it's not going to look good. Maybe if you add some oils in with it or on top like I did, and later on it might start to help. But if you don't have oils coming through, I don't think it will. I think it will look bad. It will start to just cling to all those dry patches and look really, really cakey. I think if you put too much oil, the consistency is already light enough that you put too much oil with it, it just is not going to really be a foundation or even work together. But that is everything that I have to say. I'm just going to finish up my lipstick and then we are done. Please make sure that you subscribe to the channel and leave any comments down below. I am working on being able to actually talk in the video